2TC is an achievement in Bloons Tower Defense 6 where you need to complete a game of chimps using just 2 towers. We're going to be doing this today with just the flash bomb and the anti-balloon. And for a little bit of an extra challenge, we're only going to be building on this tree stump. Round 6 going very well. Round 7, let's upgrade to seeking shurikens to increase our range, but also enable our shurikens to be seeking. Round 9, let's upgrade to Ninja Discipline to increase our attack speed. And then we're going to go with sharp shurikens to increase our pierce. Then cow drops, then flash bomb. And then it will be anti-time, I mean. Sharp shurikens, because we need that additional pierce. We're not going to say no to pierce. And flash bomb has been given a pretty interesting change when it comes to the alternated attacks that it does. So alternates flash bombs that stun many balloons, and then the shurikens in which we fire out does increased damage to stunned targets. So anytime that a balloon is just sit there stunned by the flash bomb, gets increased damage from the shuriken itself, which is pretty nifty. What I didn't even realize, you can click on these mushrooms as well on tree stump. Round 15 going very well there, as you could probably saw. Round 20 black balloons, a little bit of an issue there, not going to lie. So let's see if we can actually deal with the rest of that. Yes, we can. Perhaps I should have taken this up a little bit further north on the tree stump so we cover this backlog of the track here a bit more. I would like to save up for a super monkey, but obviously we cannot get to that stage yet because then we won't have anything to deal with the lead balloons on round 28. Round 27, can we deal with all of the pierce that is required on this round to get through it with just 1 tower? I think we can. And there we go. Round 28, yeah, this is where we definitely need the flash bomb in play. You can't do this with base ninja and super monkey because you can't get through round 28. We can afford our super monkey now. And we're going to place you southwestmost of the tree stump, just so that we have as much coverage of the track as we possibly can. Question mark? All camos round, no problem. The flash gets our flash bomb here. Oh, we are so flashy that we can deal with just camos at this given point in time with our ninja here. Later on though, definitely need both of our towers, which is why we always go with the ultra vision combination. Because, well, despite the fact that top path gives us more damage, bottom path gives us more camo and that knockback. The flash gets is, by the way, an orcs theme from Warhammer 40k, as in their snazzy armor and with their snazzy weaponry. Very flashy. Round 39. Super range and then epic range. Obviously, why settle for super when you can have epic? Of course, we're going to do that for that range and that pierce as well, because once you increase your range, you also increase your pierce as well. Which makes sense if you're going to go further, then obviously each projectile you throw has a bit more pierce behind it. Let's get ourselves Robo Monkey, and to be honest, I'm going to settle with just this at the moment until the end of round 62. And then at the end of round 62, we're going to get the tech tower, just because I'm a little bit concerned about the purple balloons on that round. Just because there are so many purple balloons on that round. I'm not too concerned around 78 purple balloons. And then obviously by round 95 we'll have the anti-balloon anyway, so there's no issue on that matter. If you didn't know, the anti-balloon's default attack is the normal damage type. But at the moment we've got the sharp damage type, the tech tower is the plasma damage type, so you trade off one weakness but then you get another weakness. This is, in this current build, a weakness to lead balloons, but if we go here then we have a weakness to purple balloons, which obviously our flash bomb covers along with the seeking shurikens, but it's not always completely reliable. Like the ninja as a whole is not something that you should just truly rely on in order to deal with your weaknesses at that given point in time. Like, it helps, obviously, but it's not going to be a complete coverage just because of the fact that there's also a lack of attack speed with this particular build. Like, Ninja Kiwi is really inflated, no, not inflated, but nuked the attack speed, well, the default attack speed of the ninja, especially with the bottom bottom path of the ninja itself. So you're really suffering when it comes to the 2TC scenario if relying on the Master Bomber. Like, there used to be the case where the Balloon Solver used to be possible with the Master Bomber because it was able to decamify partially around 95, and the blobs of the Balloon Solver was able to by default be able to handle with camo balloons, but it just needed that innate being able to shoot some glue at a either purple or lead, whichever came first, and then it'll be able to have a snowball effect from there. But obviously now, the Balloon Solver, the blobs can no longer target camo balloons by default, and this can't decamify every camo balloon on round 95, so that's where that particular combination ends nowadays. Even though there are records of it on the Balloons Tower Defense 6 Index, it cannot be freshly done on update 43. And you know what else is impossible nowadays? The Grandmaster Ninja and Perma-Brew 2 tower chips. That was an impossibility on update 13, when Ninja Kiwi decided we're going to half your pierce and we're going to essentially nearly half your attack speed. Anyways, rambling over here and there, just a little bit of things here and there about Balloons Tower Defense 6. So, if you want me to try and cover for like how far you can go with Perma-Brew and Grandmaster Ninja, then do please let me know. And just thinking about that, I'm going to try and do a series of 2 tower chimps that used to be possible but are no longer possible. Like, let's say with the Balloon Solver and the Master Bomber, for example, could be a good pairing to try and show off. So that is round 62 done and dealt with. You can tell that it was a much easier time by just sticking with it with Robo Monkey. But obviously if we went to Tech Terror, it would be a bit harder because Tech Terror by itself can't damage purple balloons. But it's now much more powerful, and there aren't as many purple balloons on round 78 in comparison to round 62. So we do have a bit of a difficult time up ahead, but we're going to need to use your ability quite carefully, especially in the early 80s. Yeah, Grandmaster Ninja and the Crossbow Master are 2 towers which have not been given any kind of changes in such a long time, and I do wish that Ninja Kiwi gave them a few different changes here and there. I don't know, maybe perhaps having Quincy on the field actually benefits the bottom path Dart Monkey or something along those lines once you reach the crossbow. I don't know, gives Quincy a little bit more utility on the field rather than just being a means of popping balloons. I like it when a hero is able to buff certain kind of towers on the field. So let's say Oben with Druids. With Gwenquay recently, she's able to buff certain fire towers like the bottom path Mortar Monkey or the top path Tack Shooter or the middle path Wizard Monkey. You know, unique synergies like that that give the hero more than one meaning of being able to be on the field rather than just either generating money or affecting the balloons in some way with Ben, or just being a means of popping balloons. Azili, as an example, she can benefit the bottom path Wizard because she's able to increase the pierce of the undead balloons. That is a really good synergy, which is why Azili and Prince of Darkness is a very good and quite an easy 2-tower chimps in comparison with other 2-tower chimps, by the way. I'm not saying that 2-tower chimps is easy. I'm saying in comparison with other 2-tower chimps, Azili and the pod is up there for being some of the easier ones to do. I never say that anything is easy. Even something like Spirits of the Forest and Mad, they're not easy, especially if you're trying 2-tower chimps out for the first time. I've always been that difficulty is subjective upon the player. And when one person says, you know, this is easy, and if you disagree, then obviously you're wrong, then that is from the perspective of someone who thinks that it is oh my god. You may need to use an ability on this. Oh. Hello, darkness, my old friend. It's good to see you again, yellow balloon. Right, let's eradicate some of these, but just leave the rest of these to, by default, the ant balloon's attack. I nicknamed it to the ant balloon. Ninja, I need the ability to come back, actually. So, the key to victory with this combination, particularly where I've placed them out here, is using your Tecto ability on a number of the Moab class balloons, but not completely eliminating the round, because you may need a Tech Tower as soon as the next round spawns. So therefore, you would want to use it on some of them, but not all of them. And in this case, I may need to use the ability again. No, actually, we got it settled. And I'm kind of glad it. So anyways, what I was talking about earlier before getting wounded on round 75. Difficulty is subjective upon the player. Like, there might be a player out there that says that any map in Balloons Tower Defense 6 is easy because I've had experience on this map. I've come up with a set of combinations that work on that map. I've been able to fathom out that map. I've been able to master that map, etc, etc. And not only can I come up with... Oh, sorry. I was meant to post one there. Not only can I come up with one strategy, in order to go to that map, how to complete that map, Black Border, but I can come up with multiple ways of being able to encounter that map. And we have a bunch of regrows. Holy crumbs, this is going to be a bit of a scenario. This is one of the scenarios of all time. So I think regardless of the difficulty of a map, I think a difficulty is subjective upon the player, and it should not be something which should be totalitarianized by one particular person within the community because they feel like that every single map is easy. For example, if I were to tell you that this 2-tower chimps is easy, then what is that from the perspective of? Is it from the perspective of somebody who's played this game for thousands of hours? Or is it from the perspective of somebody who is very confident at this game? Or is it from somebody who has just tried out this game for the first time and has got all their towers up to tier 5, so you've unlocked all of the tiers. You may have even unlocked your Paragon. So it push comes to shove, honestly, when it comes to these sort of things. And I don't like to think that anything is easy, but something can always be completely improbable to reach because of the difficulty that scenario presents to the player. So for example there, because I didn't use my ability, therefore I did not complete that scenario. If I used it there, I may have an easier time going through the scenario. But is it definitely something that I can do? Or is it something that I may need to, I don't know, switch my targeting a little bit so that I can get through that scenario? Can I get through the scenario? That might be something which I still need to do a little bit of tinkering with. So let us use the Tecto ability a little bit later on in the round. Maybe I need to go to close quicker. Okay, I used it a bit later on in the round, but all these balloons are clumped up. Now, there's one downside to having the knockback, and it's the fact that because the mobs are closer together, that means the pierce is more clumped up in the confined space. So let's say on this round. So do I want to use my ability now, or do I want to use it a bit later on the round when there are less of these targets to try and deal with? So perhaps I need to use it a bit later on because there are these fortified Moabs, which are much tougher to deal with, not going to lie. The flash bomb can only give us so much utility, so I need to use the Tecto a bit later on in the round. So I'm just giving you a demonstration of how to befuddle a particular scenario, but also as well, this is still a learning curve for me, and I hope as well you get something out of it at the same time. Only putting these on trees will just have a bit more of an extra challenge going on here. Like, putting these balloons probably, let's say, over here, before this log over here, probably being a bit better, to be honest, just because there's a little bit more coverage of the track. But then I don't get the benefit of being able to reach over here with the anti-balloon ability. And speaking of, we're very close to that now. So I think the most difficult portion of this game is now done and dusted, but maybe I need to use the ability a bit later on in the round in order to cover all of those, or can we... We're not going to do it on this particular try, so use the ability a bit later on in the round. So I hate it when somebody says that it's easy, and guess what? It is easy. You're just stupid if you don't find it easy. Everything is easy. And I say this like a lot in my videos, and I do want to tone it down at some point, but the more that people keep trying to say that something is easy when for everybody it is not easy, the more that I will push back and say, hey, you're not the only one that exists in this space. Maybe have a little bit more respect on those who are not as good at the game as you. And not everybody is able to take a step back and realize that the community does not hang around one person's opinion, but the opinion of many. So let's see, that is a good usage of my ability there, because now I can use it on this round. Hopefully not to wipe out the round. Wipe out this CMG, definitely. Give us just a little bit of breathing room. What about now? Yes, that's a good timing of the usage of the ability there, because now... Okay, perhaps a tad bit later? No, that's actually really good. I can keep these clumped up, use a combination of the knockback and the flash bomb here to keep them in place. So I can, let's say, wipe out those for you there and leave the rest of these down to our default attacks. You don't necessarily always want to wipe out the entire round with the Tainted ability because you want it to come back for the next round. So that is very, very nice. So let's put it on last actually, so we distribute our damage to all 4 ZMGs here. But again, I don't want to necessarily wipe out the entire round because then I won't have the ability back for round 88. But can I do this? So that is the... Oh my god, look at all that pierce I need to accommodate for. That is not good. No, 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 no. I need to use it a tad later on in the round. Or perhaps even damage the first few ZMGs here a bit more than the others and then use it. A little bit tricky. It feels like the same scenario, just with a little bit more... Well, a little bit more luck. The Moabs there were pops, but the ZMG was still giving us a few problems here and there. So yeah, again, I could have done that a little bit better, but at the same time, I don't want to completely wipe out everything, otherwise I feel like I would be in a rut right now. Is that good, or is that... No, I don't think that... Oh, that's actually pretty good. Can I wipe them out? Yeah, I'm glad that one Moab still exists, so that our ability comes back here, and we should be good. Use the ability now and purchase the anti-balloon on round 88. That's pretty swell if you ask me. And once you have the anti-balloon, you don't even need to upgrade to Sticky Bomb or Master Bomb. Like, you could if you wanted to if you have the upgrades there, but I don't feel like once you get Flash Bomb, you don't need to get the other upgrades, honestly. Especially with the change that was made to it in version 43. Where the stunned balloons by the flash bomb gets bonus damage from the shuriken themselves. Yeah, the anti-balloon is just such a powerful tower. Like, it has like about 70 combinations, unique combinations, and that, by the way, is with a really expensive tower, but it's not a tower that's really been nerfed at all for several updates. Like, Ninja Kiwi keeps seeing potential as this particular tower can be better. But like with other towers, they keep being nerfed. I was about to say the biggest one was nerfed, but I think for a 2TC potential, it's received the biggest nerf of all time, being that it's lost its normal damage type. And no, you can't say that the shockwave damage it does is sufficient normal damage type. I'm talking about the main big-ass explosion and not the outer rim of the explosion itself. That's like saying you're stuck within the epicenter of a nuclear bomb, but because you have the lead property, that means you are immune to the explosion, but if you are on the outer rim of the explosion itself, that's why you are actually susceptible to damage. Imagine having the Call of Duty Zombies perk, PhD Flopper. And you receive the unfortunate news in a hypothetical scenario that the area in which you are in is going to be within the complete hellfire of an atomic bomb. But you drunk your PhD flopper and you think to yourself, well, I'm completely fine. I'm immune to explosive and radioactive substance. But what about everybody else around you? And how are you going to survive with just PhD flopper? Maybe I need some stamina in order to get to the nearest safe spot so that I can actually have some food and drink. Anything along those lines? Right, round 98. Let's just wipe out most of the rounds, but not all of the rounds, just so that we can have our ability back ready for round 99. And like, besides a few rounds, like especially like before the anti-balloon, were some of the most precarious ones. So, like round 84, that was definitely one for us, and round 87, that was the one. Round 99. Ooh, strong, definitely. Oh gosh, they were just on our border there. Okay, so 10,000. So if you don't know, every third use of the middle path super monkey ability, every time you use it the third time, it actually does bonus damage. So let us wipe out everything just like that. Unfortunately, no 2 megapots about anti-balloon here, but this is definitely a very doable duo. I would definitely say focus on getting your anti-balloon first if you feel like, you know, going a bit more crazier with your build here. Like, I think there are other combinations which you could just stick with tier 3. So let's say Dragon's Breath. I think that could be perfectly fine if you just stick with Dragon's Breath. But then again, there's also the issue of purple balloons. And no, you cannot say that the fireball explosion counts as a sufficient attack against them, even though it does pop them. You need a non-purple balloon first. So there we go, everybody. That is the 2 tower chimps of Flash Bomb and the anti-balloon on Tree Stump, building on only the Tree Stump. It's actually one of the best spots, honestly, to put tower on, but it's probably not the most optimal spot, to be honest. Like, I honestly think that over here is a bit more optimal coverage because you can cover the start of the track, cover more of the end of the track, you cover when it goes down here, when it goes around the bend here. But then again, on this tree stump, there's no obstacles in the way. Anyway, it's me talking over, but then again, if I don't talk, then is this even a Flare Balloons video? Speaking of flare balloons, you can support me in another way alongside liking, commenting, and subscribing to the video by using my creator support code whenever you are purchasing anything within the Balloons Tower Defense 6 store. I'm not sure if this works in Battles 2, since I'm not a creator of Battles 2. I don't know. Thank you all so much for watching, and if you don't want to end up like a undead spawn of Lich, then like, comment, and subscribe so that you can see more undead gameplay. I may do another pod scenario at some point in the future with another tower, but I don't know. I just do not know. Thank you all so much for watching, everybody, and look after yourselves out there.